Hey, what's up everybody, it's Muse24, and today I'm going to be doing something a bit different from most of my Gundam reviews and stuff. I'm going to be doing a figure review of Emile from the Halo Reach action figure line from McFarlane Toys. And I've never bought a Halo action figure before. I've heard very good things about them, but I just never bought one before. And then I saw the Reach line come out, and I'm like, I'd be kind of interested in just getting the Noble Team members. Although, with these ones I did pick up, I did get 3 of them, and one of them isn't a Halo Reach one, it's actually a Master Chief from Halo 2, which I'll review him later on. Basically, I'm going to get the Halo Reach Noble Team members, and then Master Chief and Arbor from Halo 2, and that's pretty much it, unless I see some later on that I really, want to get real bad. But, anyways, I have not opened the box yet, so I'm going to pop the box open with my X-Acto knife here, just cut the plastic on the back, and we will get right into this. Alright, so before I get the figure out of the box here, I'm just going to show off the back here with the other figures I've got highlighted. You've got a Hazop Spartan in, was that gray? Or silver, rather. You've got a red Spartan Mark V, you've got Emile, another Spartan Hazop, and green it looks like. You've got George, yellow Hazop Spartan, Noble 6, as his default setting in the game. Grunt and an Elite. Pop this. Alright. Twisty ties, you are the bane of my existence. Alright, so now I've got him out of the packaging, and I have to say, this figure is incredibly detailed. Just from everything to the skull face in the helmet, to the little scuffs and dirtied up areas on his boots and his gauntlets. It's pretty incredible for something that only cost me $11. I mean, this was a relatively inexpensive figure. There's quite a bit of color variation there. See, you can see the detail in his back there, on the shoulder, and there's a close-up of the helmet. And you got this little, I forget what that's called. It's like a little sensor array on the side of his helmet, or a laser sight or something. But at any rate, no detail was left out of this figure, which is great. And that's one thing that I've heard is pretty much the case with any of the McFarlane toys, is that they are just phenomenal as far as detail goes. Getting this figure to stand up on his own does require a little bit of fiddling right out of the box, just the way he's placed in the plastic and everything, but he can stand up on his own just fine. As far as his poseability is concerned, it's pretty impressive. He's got, as it says on the front of the box here, 26 moving parts. He has a ball joint at the head there that allows him to go all over the place, and there's also a peg in there, I believe, that allows it to rotate 360 no problem. The shoulders can rotate 360. They can only go out about that far on either side. This side because of his bulky shoulder armor, and this side just because that's where it tends to stop. But you can, get it to go out that way if you wanted to and whatnot. The elbows are going to bend about yay far. I mean, it's not quite 90 degrees, but it's still not terrible. The wrist has a joint here that allows it to go back and forth, and then there's a rotation 360. The torso can rotate side to side, can't go 360, but if you notice, it can go up and down as well. I believe there's some sort of ball joint in there or a socket or something. Allows them to kind of wiggle back and forth. The legs can go about that far forward. I'm finding this side of his body actually is a little bit more mobile than the other side. But at any rate, these can, his thigh there can actually go 360. I don't really know if it's supposed to or not, but it just did. So you got that going for him. His knee can bend back and forth and can rotate as well. You've got a joint here at the foot that goes more forwards than it does back, and then there's a little joint at the toe, and then the whole foot can rotate 360. So the poseability on this guy is pretty impressive. Some of the joints aren't fantastic as far as their bend goes, particularly in the arms, but I can kind of forgive it just because of how much rotation you can get with the head and the wrists and the feet and everything. In terms of his accessories, you can see on his shoulder that he's got the sheath for his knife, which does come separate and painted up in silver, and then you got the black handle. It doesn't actually fit in there, but he can hold it in his hand, no problem. He also comes with a frag grenade, which you can just peg on one of two spots on his belt. I'm going to put it over there. And then he comes with this demolitions pack or series of other grenades or whatever that he's got around his belt and on his chest. And I'm just going to stick that, whoops, on the peg on the other side, assuming it doesn't fall on me, like it just did. Yeah, so there we go. He's going to hold those fine. And then he does come with a nicely detailed shotgun. Got a good color variation there. And he can hold this in his hand. I don't know, I'm just dropping stuff left and right. He can hold it in his hand, but apparently doesn't seem to want to stay all that well. Well, that's interesting. Let me try the other hand. Yeah, he seems to hold it a little bit better in this hand than in his other hand. But if you don't want him holding on to it, there's a little peg there that can stick into this hole on his back, and he can keep it that way instead. Emile also has a small socket on the side of his thigh there, which I assume you could just peg a smaller weapon into if you wanted to do that. And his chest armor also does come off, and there's two pegs there, so I imagine you could replace it with some of the armor from other figures from the Reach line, and vice versa with putting his chest armor on another figure. Also, I just noticed that there's a peg that connects the shoulder armor with the knife sheath on there, and that can come off as well. So can I recommend the Emile action figure? Yes. While his poseability is lacking in certain areas, particularly in the elbow joints and the shoulders, which, I mean, the shoulders can rotate 360, no problem, but going up and down they kind of have some issues, and it just, overall, the upper torso feels a little bit stiff. The amount of detail you get in this figure is just amazing. The fact that it's only $11 is another plus, and you get some really cool accessories with him, which the armor, being able to switch on and off, really kind of recreates the feel of customization in the game. So if that was what McFarlane Toys was going for, good job, guys. They really nailed it on the head there. I'd like to give a shout out to another YouTube user named Recon Luke. He does a lot of Halo action figure reviews, and basically because of his Reach action figure reviews, that's the reason that I went ahead and picked up the figures that I did. So if you guys are interested in seeing other Halo action figure reviews, go check his channel out. He's got a lot of them. He has some good insight into them and give you some opinions on what he thinks of them. Don't forget to rate and comment below, subscribe if you like what you see, and with that, I will see you guys next time.